Hey, hello everyone, Kuhu Sarkar this side. Today I'm going to discuss the Sonnet 73 by William Shakespeare, and the name of the sonnet is That Time of Year Thou Mayst in Me Behold. This is from your Calcutta University's BA English Honors First Sem syllabus, and I didn't make any video on Calcutta syllabus. Calcutta English Honors syllabus. This is my first video. So if you like my way of teaching or like my explanation, please hit the like button and feel free to write in the comment section, and you can write your queries, you can write your feedback, okay, your honest feedback. I am very much new in this area, so not in English literature area, but making videos. I'm not habituated of this. Okay, so before going to the text, you should know the background of the sonnet. Okay, the particular sonnet. I hope you know what is sonnet. Sonnet is a 14 lines poem. Okay, sonnet is a 14 lines poem, and it is written by, it is first invented by Francesco Petrarch, who was an Italian, and there is a difference between Petrarch and sonnet and Shakespearean sonnet. Okay, so let us look at it. So Petrarch sonnet was very much famous, and many famous writers like Dante and other English writers also like Sydney Spencer, they used to write on that format, but Shakespeare had written in another format, but it was not invented by Shakespeare, it was invented by Thomas Watt and Henry Howard particularly. So Petrarch sonnet was when Petrarch had invented the format sonnet in 13th or 14th century. Okay, and it was introduced in our England by Thomas Watt and Henry Howard was the disciple of Thomas Watt. Okay, so let us see what is Petrarch sonnet. Petrarch sonnet, one second. Petrarch sonnet was divided into two sections. Petrarch sonnet has been divided into two sections. The first is octave. Octave mean 8 lines stanza. Okay, the first stanza is 8 line stanza, and it is called octave because of 8, and there the poet used to discuss the problem. And the other 6 lines are called sestet. So the other 6 line in total it called sestet. Okay, so this is the, one second, this is the 6 line stanza, and there the poet used to discuss the solution, or the poet gave or give the solution gives the solution. So this is the format of Petrarch sonnet, where there is two division. First is octave, and second is sestet. And as I said, that many writers like Dante, Sydney and Spencer used to write in this format, though they had changed a little bit, but they used to write this format. And it was introduced in our England in 16th century by Thomas Watt and Henry Howard. So what Henry Howard did, he introduced a new format, and before it was 8 plus 6, and he introduced 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 2, and these 4 lines stanza is called quatrain. So it was first introduced by our Henry Howard, and the last 2 line is called couplet. So I hope you know the song Kobita is couplet by our Shreya Ghoshal. So I used to think that it is actually couplet, but it is not couplet, it is actually a couplet. In sonnet it is couplet. Okay, couplet is the 2 line stanza where the poet is giving the solution, and in quatrains he is discussing the problem. Okay, So it was invented by Petrarch, and Henry Howard changed the format. But where is Shakespeare's role? So Shakespeare had not changed the format, but he just totally changed the theme, the content of the sonnet. How? Let's see. Shakespeare sonnets are considered a continuation of the sonnet tradition that swept through the Renaissance from Petrarch in 14th century Italy and was finally introduced in 16th century England by Thomas Watt and was given its rhyming meter and division into quatrains by Henry Howard. Okay, with few exceptions, Shakespeare's sonnet observed the stylistic form of the English sonnet, the rhyme scheme, the 14 lines, the meter. So he used the same format. Maybe in some places he changed a little bit, but where he made difference, but Shakespeare sonnet introduced significant departure of content. Mean he used sorry. So he used the change content. He changed the content, the theme of the sonnet. How? Instead of expressing for almost goddess like yet unobtainable female like of love object as Petrarch, Dante, Philip Sidney had done. So previously, everyone they used to write sonnet to praise their beloved, whom they used to praise like goddess like character, goddess like female character. So all are females. But here you can see Shakespeare introduce a young man, the fair youth. Okay, he is praising a fair youth, a male character, a man. And he also introduced dark lady. So Shakespeare explores them themes such as lust, homoeroticism, misogyny, and infidelity, and acrimony. So you can see that Shakespeare had written 154 sonnets. Okay, so 1 to 126 sonnets are dedicated or addressed to a fair youth. So who is that fair youth? Some people or some researchers say that he is Mr. WH. Okay, who is Mr. WH? There is two assumptions. One is that Henry Withersley, Earl of Southampton, or other is William Herbert, who was the Earl of Pembroke. Okay, so who was this person? Maybe a lover of Shakespeare, maybe a good friend of Shakespeare, maybe a best friend, or maybe a male lover, or maybe a patron who gave money to Shakespeare to write or for writing. Okay, you know that writing for this thing, now we have publication and other things, but at that time someone have to give you the money to publish your writings. Though Shakespeare didn't want or didn't publish these sonnets by himself, it was published later. But these sonnets, mean 1 to 126 sonnets, are dedicated or addressed to the fair youth. Okay, now 126 to 154 sonnets are addressed to the dark lady. So there you also can see that he is praising a dark lady. But previously, the lady used to be so fair. I mean, they address their lady, their beloved, who is so beautiful, who is so goddess like character. But here Shakespeare is addressing his beloved as a dark lady. Maybe she is a negro, or maybe some researchers said that the identity of this character is hidden, therefore she used to call as a dark lady. So you can read the sonnet 130, is very much interesting, one of my favorite sonnet by Shakespeare. So you can see that the theme totally changed by Shakespeare. He made it famous by its content. Okay, now let's see the sonnet and Before going to the sonnet, let's read about it. Okay, sonnet 73, one of the most famous William Shakespeare's 154 sonnets, focuses on the theme of old age. The sonnet addresses fair youth. Each of the three quatrains contains a metaphor: autumn, the passing of a day, and the dying out of a fire. So there are three metaphors you can find in this sonnet. First, first quatrain, the poet compare himself with the season autumn. The second quatrain, he is comparing himself with the passing of a day, which is twilight. And the third quatrain, the dying out of a fire. Okay, each metaphor proposes a way the young man may see the poet. Okay, now let us jump into the text. So before jumping into the text, we should know about the format, but I will read the sonnet first, because this is really a sweet sonnet. Okay, so that time of year thou mayst in me behold, when yellow leaves or none or few do hang upon those boughs which shake against the cold, bare ruined choirs where late the sweet birds sang. In me thou seest the twilight of such day, as after sunset fadeth in the west, which by and by black night doth take away. Death's second self that seals up all in rest. In me thou seest the glowing of such fire, that on the ashes of his youth doth lie, as the dead bed whereon it must expire, consumed with that which it was nourished by. These thou perceivest, which makes thy love more strong, to love that will which thou must live ere long. Okay, so the meter of the poem is iambic pentameter. The poem is written in iambic pentameter. Each line generally has 10 10 syllables arranged in 5 iambic feet. So iambic feet mean unstressed syllable followed by stressed syllable. And the rhyme scheme is, the rhyme scheme of the poem is A B A B C D C D E F E F G G. So this is a famous rhyme scheme, and it is called Shakespearean rhyme scheme. So okay, so this one is very much famous. So please remember it: A B A B C D C D E F E F G G, because most of the time it is asked. Okay, now let's read the sonnet. Okay, so the first stanza, you can see that you also know, I think, that no sonnets are given any name. Therefore the sonnets, we take the first line of the sonnet as the title of the sonnet. Okay, therefore the name of the sonnet is, the time of year thou mayst in me behold. Okay, so the time of year thou mayst in me behold. So the time of the year, you can see, behold mean looking at, looking at or see. So you can see that time of the year in me, you can see the time of the year in me, when yellow leaves or none or few do hang. So yellow leaves mean the leaves which are now yellowish or gray in color. Okay, which are now in the state of decaying. So maybe in the branches there are few leaves, the leaves are yellowish, the leaves are yellow, and maybe one or two leaves are there, maybe there are no leaves on the branches, or what are they doing, they are hang, they do hang. Okay, so you can see from the picture that the yellow leaves of the autumn, this is a very common picture you can see in autumn season. Okay, and then what happened, so upon those boughs which shake against the cold bare wind, choirs were laid, the sweet birds sang. Okay, so upon those boughs which shake against the cold, so now the branches, because there are no leaves, so they are shaking, they are shivering. they are trying to protect themselves. They are trying to protect themselves from the cold wind, from the stormy wind of winter. Okay, because the winter is arriving, mean the death is arriving. You know, I think that the winter in England, it's compared with date, right? That time also. So winter, mean before winter you can see the season autumn. So the poet is comparing his time with the season autumn. Okay, so I used to taught in a private school where I taught the particular poem which is by Thomas Hood, the November. So the first line of the poem was no sun, no moon. Okay, no locomotion, something like that. Mean the November, the word begins with the word no, mean everything stop. Okay, everything stops there, because the winters has been arrived and now people cannot go or meet with each other. They mean winter season is not like in our India, in England, right? In England, in India we used to do feast and do picnic, or if all the programs happened in winter time, right? Because for us it is so much a pleasing weather, but for them it is a dead season. Okay, so it was written in Shakespeare time, right? So that time there is no internet or other things. So winter is like a dead season, and before the dead season autumn comes. Okay, and the poet is now standing in his autumn season. Mean the poet is now growing old day by day. He is growing older day by day. And the first stanza, I mean the whole poem is discussing or concerned about the aging of the poet. Okay, so you can see from the first stanza, I hope you understood. Okay, the last line of the first stanza, that bear doing choir. So choir has two different meanings. Choir has two different meaning. First one is, it is a place where the young singers or the little ones, they used to sing. Okay, the other thing is the group of singers, the group of singer is called choirs, right? So when I was young, I was full of energy, I was very much energetic. That time, they are in my branches where the late sweet bird sang. The word sang is the past tense of sing. Mean the choirs used to sing in my branches. So I remember the Hindu mythology where it is said that our body is like a temple, and the soul is like a bird, right? So they are, it is my opinion. I didn't read anything from anywhere. So it is my opinion that the poet compare himself as a church, and the birds are like the souls, or the soul which used to sing. When he was very much young, he was full of energy, he used to sing. The birds used to sing where in the church. Now the church is very much bare. Bare means empty. Okay, so the empty ruined chair, the choirs. So the empty ruined choirs mean the empty ruined or decaying church, now where many sweet birds used to sing. Now there is no bird, no sweet birds are there, and no singing is there. Okay, because now they are at the state of autumn. They are standing at the end of his life. He is standing at the end of his life. Okay, before death. So the first stanza, I hope you understood. The time of year thou mayst in me behold, means the time you can see in me. Which season? The time is autumn. Okay, when yellow leaves or none or few do hang upon those boughs which shake, which is protecting or shivering against the cold, because now he don't have any power, he don't have any energy which can protect which by which he can protect himself, because now his life is like a ruined choirs, ruined church where birds used to sing, but now no birds is there. Okay. Now, the second quatrain. In me, in me thou seest the twilight of such day. Okay, so what is the twilight? Twilight is the time before sunrise or sunset, but here it is used before the sunset. So in me thou seest the twilight, mean now I am standing at the time when there is twilight, mean the sun is setting down, my life sun is setting down. Okay, so you can see that, one second, you can see that before the sunset there is red light, right? There is red light on the sky. There is a reddish color, that the sky become reddish in color, right? So as after the sunset faded in the west, everyone knows this thing, that sun set where sunset in the west. So as after sunset faded in the west, which by and by black night doth take away. Okay, so the sky, you can see from the picture also that the sky is now red in color or purple in color. But when the black or when the dark, I cannot use the black color, when the dark is replacing the sky, mean night arrives. Okay, so by which by and by black night don't take away death's second self that seals up all in rest. So death is here personified as a person, and death second self mean sleep. Okay, death second self means sleep. So when twilight gone away, or the our night replaced the twilight, night came or night comes, right? And it replaced and the twilight, and what we do in night, we sleep, right? So therefore sleep is compared like dead second self is mean, when we are sleeping you can find that we look like that we are dead. Okay, so therefore dead second self is sleep. That seals up means stops, that seals up all in rest. Not only he's not talking about the human, but sleep comes to all, right? Sleeps mean death second self. Okay, so sleep comes to all, and it takes away all in rest. Not he's not only talking about the humans, but also the other creatures, the other animals. Okay, so death second self that seals up. I hope you understood the second quatrain. So the first quatrain, the poet compared himself with the autumn season. The second quatrain, he's comparing with the twilight with the of the day. Okay, so he is now standing at the twilight where death will come, dark will come, by and by black night will replace the twilight, and sleep will come. Sleep mean the death second sleep, death second self, and it will take him. Okay, now the third quatrain. In me thou seest the glowing of such fire, that on the ashes of his youth doth lie. So in me you can see the fire which used to burn in flame. Okay, so when we are very much young, we used to burn in fire, we used to burn in our desire. Okay, so the poet is also saying that he used to burn in fire, and now you can see the fire in ashes, it's lying in ashes. Okay, so after the fire extinguished, you can see the ashes, but in ashes also there are still the fire. Mean you can find the red light, or the reddishness. So in these ashes, in these glowing ashes, there is still fire. I mean, he is not dead now. Okay, he's still living, there is still energy, but it's not the same like when he was very much young. So in me thou seest the glowing of such fire, that on the ashes of his youth doth lie, as the deathbed whereon it must expire, consumed with what which it was nourished by. So he is now on his deathbed, where the nature nourished him. Okay, so there should be something, therefore the fire comes, right? So the fire comes because there was something, and when the it's totally burn, it's totally burn out, not totally burn out, the flames are not there, the fire is still there, because the glowing ashes still there, mean the life energy is still there. He is standing in his twilight, he is standing in his autumn season. Therefore the deathbed when you can see that when we are young, we are running, right? We are running to our to grown up. Okay, we are running so that we can grow, but this same running leads us where? This same running, or this same running, which you can symbolize with the liveliness, leads us to our death, right? After our birth, we are still running, towards where? We are still running towards our death. So he's saying that the liveliness, the energy which makes me run, which makes me to live my life in full, leads me to my death, leads me to my death. Okay, so after the deathbed, whereon it must expire, consumed with that which it was nourished by, which gives it the energy, it leads it's to death. So therefore you know everything. So first one, again I'm repeating the same thing, that the first stanza is comparing the poet comparing himself with autumn season. Second stanza, where he compared himself with the twilight, and the third stanza is comparing with the dying fire. So he is now comparing himself with the dying fire. Okay, so uh, therefore he is saying to his beloved, or to his lover, these thou perceivest, which make thou love more strong. So you are very much aware of that fact. Okay, so that these thou perceivest, you realize the fact, therefore it makes you to love me strong, it makes our love more strong. These things mean I am dying, or I am become an old man, therefore there is no time. So there you can see the carpe diem theme mean seize the day. Okay, seize the day mean pluck the day, or seize the day mean live to the fullest. Okay, whatever you have, whatever time you have, how much time you have, you have to live the fullest. So therefore the poet is saying that these the first ways you have realized the fact which makes thy love more strong, which make you love me more strongly, and to love that will which thou must live ere long. Ere mean before. Okay, because you know very well that it will not be there for so long. It will just leave you, I will leave you very soon. Therefore you are loving me more strongly, or you are loving me to the fullest. Okay, so these thou perceivest, which make thy love more strong, your love for me become more stronger, to love that well which thou must live along, which you have to live so soon. Therefore you should love me, or you are loving me so hard, you are loving me, so your love for me is so strong. And you can find the carpe diem theme here. So I hope you understood the poem, and I have given one line by line explanation of the sonnet. Okay, you can read it by your own, and there are some others. You can read it all this explanation by yourself, and there are some literary terms or figure of speech you should know. So the first one is extended metaphor. This is the most important figure of speech in the sonnets, and Shakespeare used the three extended metaphors. First one is autumn late year. Okay, autumn is described as late year. Yellow leaves or none or few. Old age is compared to the last season of the year. Twilight with sunset, the twilight of such day. Life compared to the end of dying fire. Okay, these three are the extended metaphor. Okay, now simile you can find as after sunset faded in the west as the deathbed whereon it must expire. Okay, personification I had already said that black night is personified, and other is death self, death second self, and black night don't take away. Imagery you can find this imagery is nature imagery, mean yellow leaves. Okay, nature imagery mean yellow leaves. Time imagery, sunset, twilight, and night. Fire imagery is also there. Symbolism, many objects of in the poem stands for deeper symbolism. Like yellow leaves is compared or symbolize the old age. Twilight, end of the life. Night, death. Fire and ashes, fading and fading life and lost youth. So you can read it by your own. Alliteration also you can find that bare wind choirs, then sweet bird sang. Paradox, this is important. Paradox, consumed with what it was nourished. So what is paradox? Paradox is a statement that seems contradictory but true. So there you can see that consumed with what it was nourished by. Mean it is mean we are running towards our death, and we are running to grow, we are running to live, and it's the journey itself taking us to our death. Okay, so I hope I can make it easy for you, and please don't forget to write your comment, whoever is watching this video, and it will definitely inspire me to make more videos on your syllabus. And thank you for giving your time.